Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys today. And today is our episode review for Season 2, Episode 8. This is a fight we've definitely been looking forward to as soon as it got revealed. We had the big reveal last episode with future Hikari showing up. So we've got Hikari versus Hikari, the Fated One of Time versus the Destined One of Time. And I didn't know what direction this fight was going to go. This is one fight that I definitely wasn't predicting at all. But we got a little bit of backstory on what happened with future Hikari, and we jump straight into the fight. There's almost no downtime going right into the fight. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in and check it out. So the episode starts off with where the last episode ended, with future Hikari showing up, basically saying she's going to be the representative for the Fated Ones, as she has the Fated One of Time. And we kind of get a quick explanation of what happened. Akina runs down, confronts future Hikari, and she explains that she was supposed to disappear. She reveals it to him right there, and basically she wasn't supposed to be here, and she just happens to be here. So then we see a flashback of what happened. She woke up in Taizo's office. Basically, Taizo found her in an alleyway asleep next to his office building, so he's brought her in, and basically she explained to him that she was supposed to die, and she was going to disappear, not necessarily die, but she was going to disappear in secret. And when she ends up looking at her Liael Amorta card, she sees that it has its faded symbol back on it. So it has its design force, because she realizes that her wish has not been granted. Her wish was to save her brother, change his fate from dying. But because of everything that's going on, her brother still has a fate where he's destined to die. So she's back in time here, and she's trying to change it again. And she couldn't figure out why things had changed, but it turned out it was because of the Destined Showdown. At least that's her best guess. Taizo had told her all about it, so she wanted to help the best she could. She watched the whole thing and was trying to figure out how she can, kind of inject herself in there to help. And when it came out as a draw, 3-3, that was her chance. So she's becoming the representative for the Fated Ones. And you get the ping from the phones, and bam, Fated One of Time versus Destined One of Time. And we jump right into the action. At first, the Hikaris are constantly going back and forth throughout the entire fight, talking about Hikari's like, you should understand why I'm doing this. We've done so much to our brother. And she's like, I have to fight you because I understand what you're going through. And she explains that, how guilty Hikari feels. But onto the fight. So we see, of course, their starters. Future Hikari is playing the same starter that she played with last season. Player of the Oliphant Belnista, and present Hikari is playing Gear Quetzal of Sweeping Distance, which we saw in the last episode. I hope you guys are not sick of the name Hikari, because we're going to be saying it a lot. But turn 1, future Hikari rides player of the lovely harp Adorphus, and then turn ends. Quick PSA, if you guys haven't seen my episode reviews before, the anime doesn't really have them draw for turn or energy charge 3. So just assume that it happens regardless every turn, because they do use energy blast skills, and it is an inherent game mechanic. All right, turn 2. Now we're on to present Hikari. Present Hikari rides Steam Maiden Tiglat and uses its skill. Auto, when this unit is placed by riding from a grade 0, reveal a grade 3 unit with Liael in its card name from your ride deck, and put a Destined Timepiece token into your order zone. Remember, this also counts as a set order. Present Hikari then attacks with Tiglat. Future Hikari doesn't guard. Present Hikari doesn't get a trigger on the drive check. Future Hikari takes 1 damage. Turn ends. Damage is now 1-0 with Present Hikari in the lead. So remember, our Destined Timepiece is what allows Present Hikari to get regress gauges. So now her deck is technically turned on. Turn 3, future Hikari rides player of the Beautiful Chord Elegina and uses Adorphus skill. Auto, when this unit is rode upon by a player of the Beautiful Chord Elegina, Soul Blast 1. Draw 2 cards, choose a normal unit from your hand and discard it. If you did not discard a normal unit, choose 2 cards from your hand and discard them. Future card draws the 2 cards and discards Sword Saint of Itinerant. Idris, I always mess up his name. But Idris is a really, really important card, and it's actually important that she discarded it here. But we'll see that on her next turn. Hikari calls 2 copies of Painkiller Angel. She attacks with her Vanguard, boosted by Painkiller. Present Hikari doesn't guard. Future Hikari doesn't get a trigger. Present Hikari takes 1 damage. Future Hikari then attacks with her other rear guard Painkiller Angel, and present Hikari guards this one. So the end of this turn, damage is 1-1. Turn 4, Present Hikari rides Life Cessation Colossus and uses its skill. When this unit is placed by riding Steed Mane Tiglet, put a card from your hand face up as a regress gauge and you draw 2 cards. Present Hikari puts a Cronus Dragon, which is probably the best card that she could have put into the regress, and then she draws 2 cards. Present Hikari calls Steam Burner Amina Detana and uses its skill. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a regress gauge during your turn, choose one of your units and gets 5,000 power till end of turn. He uses the skill to give 5k power to her Vanguard, and then at the start of battle phase, Present Hikari uses a Chronos Dragon skill. Auto, in the gauge zone, at the beginning of your battle phase, if you have a regress gauge, counterblast 1, choose a card from your drop, put it face up into your regress gauge. You put a card, call this card to rearguard. I love this effect, and it's what makes this card really, really good because you can call it the grade 3 on turn 2. I just wish that the call was optional. Still keep the counterblast cost, but if you could choose a card from your drop and put it into your regress gauge and not call the card, you can actually speed up the divine skill to make it more consistent. But I know that the divine skill is already ridiculously powerful. That's why they locked it behind having 5 regress gauge. Present Hikari attacks when Amina Detana, future card guards. Present Hikari attacks with her Vanguard, future Hikari doesn't guard. Present Hikari doesn't get a trigger, future Hikari takes 1 damage. I'm sorry for the present and future stuff, but we gotta differentiate who's going because they're both Hikari and it makes this kind of a nightmare. But now Present Hikari attacks with a Cronus Dragon and future Hikari guards, turns over. Damage is now 2-1 with Present Hikari in the lead. We get a really important back and forth here where basically future Hikari is telling Present Hikari to really think about what she's doing, and Present Hikari is attacking her for, you know, her whole thing was changing the past as well. She tried to change the future where he was supposed to die, but Present Hikari is not thinking about the consequences. This is where we get into a whole multiverse topic where basically our future Hikari came back, saved Akina, but it doesn't bring back her brother. Her Akina is gone. If Present Hikari goes back in time and stops the accident, the brother that she's known, loved, and grown up with this whole time will be gone. It will be a whole different Akina. And she basically would have to get rid of the whole world she loves, including her brother. And she's not clicking. That's not clicking in her head. But now we go into turn 5. Future Hikari rides the Faded One of Time, Liael Amorta. This is what we were waiting for. And she uses Elegina's skill. When this unit is rolled upon by a grade 3 card with Liael in its card name, choose any number of your normal units from your drop and put them to the bottom of your deck in any order. And if you chose 3 or more cards, draw a card. So Hikari sends 3 back, specifically making sure to send back the Idris that she discarded last turn. That's important because that's one of the cards you want in the deck. Future Hikari moves her Painkiller Angel back. She calls Salivar Dragon, and of course, she calls another Idris. Future Hikari moves to her battle phase. She attacks with Idris. Present Hikari guards. Future Hikari attacks with Liael Amorta, and we see her use Liael Amorta's skill. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, counterblast 1, choose one of your rear guards, bind it, and search your deck for up to 1 card with the same card name as that card, call it to rear guard, and shuffle the deck. So she binds the Idris, calls another copy. Now, Idris, the reason it's so good in this deck is because when it gets bound, stuff happens. So Idris has 2 skills. Continuous rear guard. During your turn, if your bind zone has a card with the same name as this card, it gets plus 10k. So the new one has plus 10k. And then the other one, Auto, when this unit is bound from the rear guard during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael in its card name, you Soul Blast 1, you draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets 5,000 power. So with the one that she bound, she gets to draw a card, give 5k to the Vanguard, and now a new one comes in with plus 10,000 power. Present Hikari doesn't guard the Vanguard swing. Future Hikari gets a draw trigger, gives the power to the new Idris, and draws an extra card. Present Hikari takes 1 damage. Future Hikari now attacks with Salivar. Present Hikari guards. Future Hikari then attacks with Idris. Present Hikari doesn't guard and takes another damage. So the turn ends. The damage is now 2-3, with Future Hikari now in the lead. The Hikaris go back and forth again about what's going on and the regret that Hikari feels for taking all of Akina's time, that it's her fault, and that nobody really understands what she's going through. But of course, Future Hikari does. Now, turn 6, Present Hikari rides the Destined One of Time, Liael Odium. Present Hikari uses the Energy Generator skill to Energy Blast 7, draw an extra card. Then President Hikari calls a Blaze Chimera and uses its skill. A Blaze Chimera. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael in its card name, counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one grade 3 or less card from among them, call to rearguard, shuffle the deck. With this skill, she calls Famed Harsh Demonic Lordling Batham. I didn't even know this was a card, but she calls it off the top 5. And then she finally plays her order Distorted Bane. For anybody that doesn't remember what it does, you can play this if you have Vanguard with Liael in its card name. When you play it, you may soul charge. I didn't realize that was optional until literally making this video. But then you put this card face up into your regress gauge. Auto, when this card is put into your regress gauge, draw a card, choose one of your Vanguards, and it gets 10,000 power till end of turn. This order is really, really strong because A, gives you a soul charge, which, you know, Liael has a soul blast cost, but its skill to gain 10k power and draw a card is when it's put into the regress gauge. It doesn't have to be put into the regress gauge by its own skill. So if you have another way to put it into the regress gauge with like Anachronous Dragon or Liael's skill, you can then trigger it. So that's really strong. President Hikari starts using Liael Odium skills. So Liael Odium has a continuous skill. Vanguard, during your turn, all your front or rear guards get plus 5k for every Distorted Bane regress gauge. So they now gain plus 5k. And now we move to battle phase. President Hikari attacks with Amina Tana, future Hikari guards. President Hikari attacks with Liael Odium and activates its skill. Auto Vanguard, when this unit attacks, Soul Blast 1, choose a card from your rear guard or hand, put it face up as a regress gauge. If you put a card, this unit gets triple drive until end of turn. So President Hikari puts Amina Tana into the regress gauge. Future Hikari doesn't guard the Vanguard. President Hikari gets a critical on the triple drive, giving 10k to Anachronous Dragon and the critical to Liael Odium. So future Hikari takes 2 damage, but she does get a front trigger on the damage check. President Hikari attacks with a Cronus Dragon and uses its second skill, Auto Rearguard, when this unit attacks a Vanguard. If you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Liael in its card name until the end of that battle, if this unit gets 5,000 power, if you have 3 or more regress gauges, Energy Blast 2, choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. So she pumps up a Cronus Dragon and then retires this, future Hikari's Idris, which is, you know, a really good card. Future Hikari guards the attack, turns over, the damage is now 4-3 with President Hikari back in the lead. So now we go into turn 7. The Hikaris go back and forth. You know, future Hikari's like, if you have another Distorted Bane, you get a Divine Skill next turn, you gotta win. And President Hikari's like, yeah, that's my plan. Future Hikari's like, nah, I have a Divine Skill too, and mine's up first. So Future Hikari Persona rides, and then Future Hikari uses the Energy Generator skill to now Energy Blast 7, draw a card. Future Hikari calls a new grade 2. This is what we were here for. Sequence Wizard, and I'm pretty sure I got this skill down. Auto, when this unit is placed on rearguard, counterblast 1, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, call a grade 3 or lower unit. I'm assuming it's going to be locked behind either having a Divine Skill grade 3 or Liael, because otherwise this would probably get splashed in Liael. So I'm assuming it's just Liael. Future Hikari calls a light Egret off the top 5 of the grade 1. Future Hikari then calls a new grade 1 called Ishtir. It probably has a longer name, you know, all the Keter Sanctuary cards do, but she just calls it Ishtir. Doesn't do any skill on place, but it does have a skill that I thought was pretty interesting. But Future Hikari then goes, she attacks with Salavar, boosted by the Ishtir. President Hikari doesn't guard, she takes 1 damage. Future Hikari attacks with Liael Amorta, she uses its skill to bind Salavar Dragon and calls another copy from the deck. And then she activates the skills of Ishtir and Sequence Wizard. So Ishtir, when the card is called, restands for free. And Salavar gains 5k power and soul charges 1, which is dope because this deck needs soul. Unfortunately, Future Hikari soul charges her overtrigger. You know how it is with random soul charging in this game. But President Hikari guards the Vanguard swing, whereas Future Hikari gets a heal trigger on the Twin Drive. Future Hikari gives the 10k power to Salavar, deals 1 damage. Future Hikari finally uses Painkiller Angel's skill, because Painkiller Angel's skill is optional after boosting, where you Soul Blast 1, retire it, draw a card. She wanted to save on soul until she could start getting more soul. Future Hikari starts having more of a back and forth with President Hikari, basically saying that she was making all these decisions without ever talking to Akina about how he feels and what he thinks about the whole thing. And it was because President Hikari was scared that Akina was going to blame her for all the time that he lost, all the things he wasn't able to do because he was too busy taking care of his sister. And she's just like, it's too late. I'm here. I can't do anything about it. And Future Hikari's like, it's not too late. You need to stop and go talk to your brother. But now Future Hikari activates Liael Amorta's divine skill. So divine skill, auto, Vanguard. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked your opponent's Vanguard. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, choose a card with the same name as this unit from your drop. You may ride it as stand. If you rode, that unit gets -1 drive until the end of turn. Future Hikari rides another copy of Liael Amorta from the drop, and then she now attacks with Salivar. President Hikari doesn't guard. She takes damage. This now puts her to 5 damage. Future Hikari attacks with Liael Amorta again, uses the skill again to bind Salivar and call another copy from the deck. So they don't announce it, but you see it. This also triggers Ishtir and Sequence Wizard again. Got a screenshot real quick of their field, and you can see that Hikari's Ishtir restood, and she points out that Sequence Wizard was still gaining power in the next set of attacks. President Hikari guards the Vanguard attack. Future Hikari does get a front trigger on the single drive and pumps up the front row. We actually get this really, really cool scene of Liael Amorta attacking Liael Odium. It looks cool as shit. But Future Hikari now attacks with the powered up Sequence Wizard. President Hikari guards with the Perfect Guard. Future Hikari now attacks with her 3rd Salivar, but President Hikari guards with another Perfect Guard. This leaves her with 1 card in hand. Turn ends, the damage is 5-3 with Future Hikari in the lead. Future Hikari kind of curls in pain because her body is still messed up from the accident. Remember that in her timeline, Akina never used Raziel to save her because he lost. Everybody starts talking about what's going to happen next. Everybody's saying that, the next turn's going to be the most important, because if President Hikari gets her divine skill off, the game's basically over. So it all comes down to if she has a distorted Bane. But the only one who really believes in her is Kuon. He's just like, her feelings are real. She's going to pull it off. And then we actually get to see the last card in her hand is in fact distorted Bane. So unfortunately, this episode ends on a cliffhanger. We see the distorted Bane, and President Hikari hits Future Hikari with the line she hit Akina with, where she's just like, your turn won't ever come again. It's almost like this season's final turn, if you guys watch the OG anime. But the card fight was fire. It took up the majority of the episode. We did get a little bit of backstory to set it up. Got to see some new cards for Liael. Really excited to get those officially announced on Tuesday. But I really wanted to see the end of this fight. I am happy it's a little bit of a longer fight, because I'm assuming that Future Hikari is going to survive the divine skill turn and win on the clapback, which is crazy because this match was already 7 turns just in this episode. President Hikari is going to get 2 turns on the next episode because of her divine skill, so that's going to be 9 turns. And then our Future Hikari, I'm assuming he's going to win on turn 10, which is probably the longest card fight we've had in the first 2 seasons of Divines, which is cool. But let me know what you guys think of this episode down in the comments. Let me know how you guys feel about the couple cards we got announced. Let me know who you guys think is going to win. I want to hear your opinions, and tell me why you think they're going to win. Like, what do you think? How do you think the storyline's going to go? My big thing, I think that Future Hikari is going to win, and it's going to be revealed that Akina is actually possessed by Sybil. They already have been hinting to somebody in the OG Fated Clash was possessed, and that's my guess. It's Akina. Anyway, guys, that's it from me. If you want to check me out on social media, those links will be down below. If you guys want to see me play some Cardfight Vanguard live, I'll be streaming most likely Tuesday again. It could be early, could be in the evening, so keep an eye out on either my Twitter or right here on YouTube, because my schedule is kind of a mess right now. I'm trying to reorganize it with my new job. But that's it from me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.